Today I'm sharing my top 10 read alouds for your elementary children. Hi everyone, welcome to our homeschool table. My name is Jerilyn. I am a homeschooling mom of 3 kids. They are 11, 4, and almost 2. And here on my channel, I share all about homeschool related content. So I hope that you will subscribe and stick around. Today's video is a collaboration with my friend Andrea over at Classical Casa. So I will go ahead and leave a link to her channel and her video down in the description box for you so that you can see what her favorite read alouds are next. Well, let's go ahead and just jump right in. I began homeschooling back when my daughter was in kindergarten in 2019. And so she was at that point where she was just kind of able to listen to a short chapter book. And there were a couple that we really liked to kind of help with that. So the first one that I wanted to share is My Father's Dragon. And there are also, I believe, 2 other books that we read along with this that we just checked out from the library, because once I started reading this book, she was pretty interested. And so we just kind of went from there and grabbed books that she was interested in. So this is a really good book to kind of help with that transition between picture books to chapter books. There are quite a few illustrations, and we just really enjoyed this little story of adventure. The next book that I'm sure you're not surprised to see is Charlotte's Web, and my daughter really liked this book, and I really enjoyed reading it. That is one thing about this stack of books, is that I actually enjoyed reading these books. I've read, I don't know, maybe 100 or more read alouds now that she is finishing 5th grade. So, but these are some of my favorites. So Charlotte's Web, obviously that's a really cute story about a pig and a spider who become friends. The next one is The Mouse and the Motorcycle. And this was another one of those books that spurred my daughter on to reading other things. So she actually went ahead. I think we read this in 2nd grade, which she was already a fluent reader by then. So she actually picked up the other mouse books in this series. Plus, then, since she was familiar with Beverly Cleary, she also read several of the Beezus and Ramona books, along with Henry Huggins. And we have a lot of those books on our shelves anyway, because at one point I was teaching 2nd grade and had a lot of those books. So, Mouse and the Motorcycle by Beverly Cleary. Another really cute book that you might enjoy is The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane. This is by Kate DiCamillo, and this is a really sweet story about a bunny who travels around to its different owners, and the bunny is not alive, but it does talk, and it's just a really sweet story. And if I remember correctly, I think I may have even teared up at the end, which is pretty standard for me in read alouds, but this is a really good book. The next book is The Year of Miss Agnes by Kirkpatrick Hill. And this is just a really cute book about a teacher that goes up to a remote village in Alaska. And the students there are very used to teachers coming and going a lot. And so they would like her to move along as well. So they try lots of different things to get her to be upset, but she just loves on them. And it has a really sweet little ending. I am sure that I at least got teary-eyed, if not cried completely at the end of the story. So that was a really good one. This one might be my favorite of all time. I don't know. So the next book is Red Sails to Capri, and this is by Anne Weil. And this was just a really adventurous story about some people that come to visit an inn in Capri, and so the boy whose parents own the inn gets up to lots of adventures with the people that come to visit. And so that was a really good book. This one, Caddy Woodlawn, we read actually this last school year, kind of toward the beginning. So it's been a little while, but this was a kind of similar to like a Little House on the Prairie type of story. And it was a really sweet book, and my daughter and I both really enjoyed this one a lot. The Great Turkey Walk This was a book that I remember at the end, my daughter and I were really wishing that there was a sequel to this book to let us know how the story ended after that. But they kind of, as my daughter would say, cliffhang you and just leave it to your imagination what happens next. But this is an adventurous story of a boy who is going to walk 1,000 turkeys to Denver and sell them there, and just all of the different characters that he meets along the way. And it's just a really cute book. The next couple of books are part of 2 different series of missionary stories. And with our Sunlight History Bible Literature program, we have at least 1 or 2 missionary stories in each level. So these are some of the ones that we have read so far. I couldn't just pick one because they were all so good. But we have Adoniram Judson. He was in Burma. George Mueller. He opened an orphanage. And so this was a really good book about how he relied on God for providing the money that he needed and all of those things. And then this one is Gladys Aylward, and we really enjoyed her story. She was a missionary in China. And all of these books are part of the Christian Heroes Then and Now series made by YWAM. And I have heard that every single book is great, and we have always liked them. So if you ever come across these books, I highly recommend getting some. They also come in audio format, so you can get that as well. The next one is another series of missionary type of stories, or they're called Hidden Heroes. So this is the first one, called With Two Hands, and we read this one in level C. And then this one, Lights in a Dark Place, this one is from this current year, which is level E. This is the stories of God at work in Colombia. And these are also a really good missionary series if you're looking for something like that. Now, last but not least, I just wanted to share this book with you. This is the Book of Animal Poetry by National Geographic. And there are lots of very famous poets that have poems in here. But the best part of this book, as you can probably already see, are the amazing photograph illustrations. So there are sections about the big animals, like buffalo and pandas and cows. I really liked this picture. This is probably one of my favorites. But there are several poems on each page, and can you see that? And there are just so many gorgeous photographs of different things. Some small things, some large things. So this was probably the favorite poetry book that we have had so far. This actually came with our Sunlight, let's see, it's on here, level B. And this by far has been the favorite poetry book out of all of the poetry books that we've probably ever read. And so I definitely recommend this book, whether you're just going to read 1 poem a day or a whole page a day. But this was a big favorite in our homeschool. Well, I hope that you enjoyed hearing about our favorite read alouds from our homeschool. These were mostly ones that were my favorite and my favorite to read. But I know that my daughter really loved lots of these books. In fact, I think that she would agree with me on pretty much all of them. So they are great books to read if you have elementary kids, anywhere between probably 1st grade and 5th or 6th grade. So hopefully this inspires you to look for some really great books to read aloud in your homeschool for next year. Don't forget to head down to the description box so that you can find the link to Andrea's video over at Classical Casa. She will be also sharing about her read aloud favorites, so definitely check out her and her channel. If you're from Andrea's channel, visiting here for the first time, welcome. I hope that you will stick around here at our homeschool table. Don't forget to click that subscribe button down below and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thank you for hanging out with me today at our homeschool table, and we'll see you next time.